One.
I've been running scams on the streets since I was 10.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Feeling like a star, you can't stop my shine. I'm up in Cloud City, my head's in the sky. I'm solo, I'm on solo, I'm on solo, I'm on solo, solo. Yeah, I'm feeling good tonight. Finally feeling free and it feels so right. Oh, time to do the things I like. Gonna see a princess, everything's alright. Oh, no job but I answer to. Ain't a fixture in the palace zoo. No, and since the carbon night's off me, I'm living life now that I'm free. Yeah, told me get myself together. Now I got myself together. Now I made it through the weather. Better days are gonna get better. I'm so happy the carbon night is gone. I'm moving on. I'm so happy that it's over now. The pain is gone. The shades are covering my eyes. I'm jumping in my ride. I'm heading out tonight. I'm solo. I'm on solo. I'm on solo. I'm on solo. Solo. Picking up my blaster, putting it on my side. I'm jumping in my falcon. Whoopie on my side. I'm solo. I'm on solo. I'm on solo. I'm on solo. Solo. I'm hot and solo, I'm hot and solo, solo. Now I'm feeling how I should. Join the alliance, it feels so good. Oh, stop feeling misunderstood. Back in the game, who knew I would? Oh, so fly time I spread my wings. Loving myself makes me wanna sing. No, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Told me get my act together. Now I got my act together. Yeah, now I made it through the weather. Better days are gonna get better. I'm so happy the carbon night is gone. I'm moving on. I'm so happy that it's over now. The pain is gone. The shades are covering my eyes. I'm jumping in my ride. I'm heading out tonight. I'm solo. I'm on solo. I'm on solo. I'm on solo. Solo. Picking up my blaster, putting it on my side. I'm jumping in my falcon. Whoopie on my side. I'm solo. I'm on solo. I'm on solo. I'm on solo. Solo.
Well, we are here.
Yes.
All
yes,
of
we are.
us at once, which is when's the last time this happened?
Too long ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Or can we say a long time ago?
A long time ago in a galaxy.
In a podcast far, far away.
Right.
You missed us, John. You know you did.
Oh, I did.
All right. So I'm gonna let Ken, you introduce yourself and tell everyone where they can find you, and then we'll go to our newest member, John.
Yeah, so I am Ken Bishop, the engineer of this here podcast. When I'm not on this show, you can find me on the Rambling Star Wars Fan and or the Bounty Hunting Across the Galaxy with Todd and Ken. How about you, John? Where can we find you?
Well, pretty much here now. But otherwise, the Beskar bucket still exists in the stratosphere somewhere. Mike,
We were talking the Beskar bucket actually Monday to some people, so
really,
we were promoting the show. So
Yeah, I was. So we've met folks that do podcasting, that do TikToking, and it was quite surprising how easy and comfortable the conversations went.
yeah. So people can find me here. You can find me helping Zoe with Star Wars Geek Girl, and soon create a cast. Hopefully, an episode up next week. So, yeah, so you can find me there. And yeah, Ken. So here before, I guess we'll start with troop time. We'll call it, but it's
Well,
not really.
actually, before we do any of that fun stuff, I think
Yeah.
we have a special celebration announcement. Not necessarily Star Wars celebration, but a celebration. Today is Kathleen Kennedy's birthday.
Oh yeah. So
You know,
happy birthday,
happy birthday,
Kathleen Kennedy.
Kathleen! I know you're listening. We just want you to know that we're very glad to have you at the helm, and hope you're having a fantastic day with your friends and family.
Yeah, and all the cool Star Wars things that you've done. And has anyone done a list of all the Star Wars stuff she's worked on?
Oh, it'd be a
Which
really,
is
really
probably a lot.
well. You could even go beyond Star Wars because she was involved in Indiana Jones and she was involved in ET, and there were so many great things that she was involved in before she was gifted the helm from George.
Yeah, yeah. So cool. So yeah, happy birthday. I forgot to get her something, so that's on me this year. I'll do better next year.
She gets my unending financial support in all the movies and things.
Well, that's true. Yeah, she does get I wonder what little penny of everything that from Star Wars that she actually gets. It's probably like that residual check of, just throw it in the pile. So yeah, I'm looking at my settings here, so I'm trying not to but behind the curtain and the Facebook one, which we always get a lot of people on, it auto set to private. And so I'm trying to, how do I turn private off? So if I look like I'm distracted, I am mildly distracted right there.
Well, I know that while you do that, I'll take over and we'll talk
Okay.
time. I didn't have any events that I went to this past week. How about you, John? Did you do anything in costume or as a handler or anything fun like that?
Now I have been stagnant since May. So
Well, you say stagnant. I think if you add up your time in the Legion, you're probably still less stagnant than people that have been in a decade.
true. I am at 38 troops
Yeah, see.
in my almost 2 years.
Yeah. So you're more than a troop a month.
Oh yeah.
So that's good.
Well,
Not
May
trying
helped
to
him out 'cause he got the hat trick on the 4th.
Yeah. Not trooper shaming anyone, but you should get credit where credit's due. So.
Ken, I don't know if you listened to the show that Mike and I did. What was that, 2 weeks ago?
I listened
but
to bits of it. I haven't listened to the whole thing yet.
I also got a promotion.
Oh, that's right. The graphics guy, right?
I got promoted from member to command staff.
Nice. So what extra goodies does it get you?
I literally just do the Trooper Tuesday, and I get to say that I'm on command staff.
Well, honestly, I know that sounds silly, but that will help you in the future if you decide you want to do something higher up in the Legion.
Right. Yeah, so got my foot in the door, and
Well, and
yeah,
that
that definitely as soon as I received my official promotion, that went on the resume.
I mean, you're involved in an international charitable organization, and then part of a command staff of the local garrison.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's a small number. Like if you think of percentage of people in the world, you're a small number. You're in an elite group, and you deserve it for all you've done.
You are what Will Smith said in Men in Black, the best of the best of the best.
Is that what he said?
When they were taking the test to become one of the Men in Black.
I thought it was keep my wife's name. No, but I'm thinking of something different.
Yeah, that was a different test.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Mike, what about you? Have you trooped at all recently?
I have not
winding
trooped.
down
I
from
have not.
school?
I am not trooped at all. But it's kind of I mean, it's a weird time because it's like you go from May to when they can't get enough troopers, and then you have a quick it shrinks up a little bit, and then summer hits. Yeah, I'm
Thank you,
trying.
Josh. Thank you.
Josh is on. I'm just like I said, I'm still messing with these stupid settings, so I'm sorry. I'm trying to.
How
But
about
so
costume
okay,
corner? Have you done anything on your various costumes you're working on?
costume time. Yeah, let's do costume corner. Sorry, Ken, you might have to run the.
Yeah.
You might have
So
to run the thing.
this doesn't count as costume corner. However, I am so very excited to be able to introduce all of you to BRZR. This is Bruiser, the little pit droid that I've been working on. And so, if things go smoothly, he'll be 100% done by the end of the month.
Very
Nice.
nice.
And he's
I like.
BRZR because of his color scheme. He's black and blue and purple and a little bit of
Oh,
silver.
I thought you were going to put his arms on backwards so it looked like he had big muscles. You know how the forearms are big.
Oh, yeah. See, I don't have that kind of skill set to
You could put, you
re-engineer
can put
it.
little Star Wars anchors on him. Like Popeye.
That could work. Yeah, and so I was telling Mike earlier this week that I have to build his brother KRZR, so a bruiser and cruiser.
There you go.
Very
But
nice.
now is Cruiser going to be painted like Fonzie?
I was thinking about painting him yet like remember the car in American Graffiti, the yellow car?
Oh yeah.
Thinking about trying to do that, so it would be the purple and the blue and a bright yellow one instead.
That's cool. No costume work?
No costume work because all my attention went on the robot.
Nope. I not Star Wars costume related, but slowly but surely trying to plan a Helldiver.
Ah, yeah. I don't even know the game, and I like the Helldiver. I like the look of it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Ken, no costume. Mike, no costume.
well, let me think. I worked on. I have two. I'm working on two Mando helmets on my workbench. One was just one I found in the garage. So I'm not adding new jobs, but I'm redoing my entire garage, and so I got more than half of it done. So I'm just going through my shelf of random stuff, and the first thing I pulled out was it's a Boba Fett, generic Boba Fett without the dent. So I found all the pieces, cleaned it up, and it's sitting in primer. And then I'm finishing up a child-sized commission of a trooper. I mean, of a Mando. I printed, which I showed Ken last week. I got this printed. Whatever
okay.
I got that one printed. That's for Safi. And then I got this one printed. And then I think my printer died. I think that last one killed my printer because the next print I went and I had maybe a quarter of spool of filament just stuck to the nozzle. It was just a big block of filament. I was like, So I pried it all off, and it's having leveling issues. So I got to check the build plate. But that was my I'm glad they printed, but I was trying to.
Was that your Soval?
That's my one Soval. Those Sovals I've run through so much stuff on those Sovals that I think I'm going to probably replace one of them at least with a bamboo or any cubic or one of those. You're
going to sacrifice your build volume for
no. Well, see, that's the bamboo. I probably won't go for because of the size, but the Anycubic makes the 400 millimeter or whatever it is, the same size for not a crazy amount of money. So
yeah,
I'll give them one more try to get this thing up and running. But after using those Anycubics at school, with the speed and ease of how those things just level and work, it's not. I don't know if it's worth putting money into any amount of money or time into any printer that's more than like 2 years old. That's why I think you see a lot of them going for sale for $50 because people are just like, I can just hit a button and it works. Because the ones at school have been running since I had them, and I broke because I was in a hurry. I did a stupid thing. I broke a nozzle off in one because I didn't let it heat up properly. The whole tip with wiring, heat source, and everything for those Anycubics was $17.37.
Oof, love that.
So, and it was literally a plug and play. Like you took a screw out, slid it out, done. So it's hard for me to put in hours of playing with a piece of paper and checking level, and they're so much faster. Like the Anycubics are the new speed of printing. So it's tough for me to tough for me to go, you know. But I mean, I was looking at the bamboo. The bamboo will probably replace my Flash Forge if the Flash Forge goes.
Yeah, that's quite the upgrade, though.
Huh?
That's quite
Well,
the upgrade.
The small bamboos are not expensive. You know, the like 8-inch by 8-inch, that it will still, like, my Flash Forge is one of my most expensive printers, because when I bought my Flash Forge, they were $400.
The little guy?
The red one, yeah, it's a 5-inch by 5-inch by 5-inch, and they were $399 when I bought them. That's how long ago. Because I think it's going on 9 years since I've had when I bought that.
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's my that's 3D printing talk. But yeah, so I got those helmets done. I showed Ken. I made the compad, the tech compad, light up compad that does 3D printed photos. You put 3D printed photos on them, and it puts pictures on it. And yeah, that was pretty much my build time.
Any more thought gone into Vader?
Vader's buckles here. He's on the pile. I'm like 3 things away from going to Vader, but Vader is just literally, when I get to that pile of the Vader stuff to put the Greeblies on, that's what'll come up next.
Yeah,
Like
I know. Last time we talked, you had gotten the belt buckle.
Yep.
But you're deciding on whether or not to buy the boxes.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do after having the 2 things, after having my garage clean and stuff like that. And the second is I watched someone use liquid resin as the smoothing agent this weekend. Like, you know, you put the liquid resin on, or the UV resin, but they didn't use a paintbrush to spread it. They used a thin piece of foam, like MDF, like the real thin stuff.
Yeah.
They cut a piece of it and brushed it on with that, so there was no brush lines. It literally just pushed it into the seams. And so I'm going to try that method and see what happens.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I still think probably I eventually will buy the boxes, but I just don't feel like spending the money right now with all the stuff I want to do this summer. I'm just like, I think I'll hold off on that. But you know, like, it's amazing how much organization and clean makes you want to do work. Because, like, I've had all these boxes, but now every single one is labeled. I know what's in every single box. And even the one that says miscellaneous, I have one box that just says miscellaneous. It's miscellaneous stuff that doesn't have a name. Like, so, you know what I mean? Miscellaneous usually meant I didn't feel like sorting it and putting it in the right boxes. Now miscellaneous means I just don't have a box for that, for a handful of things. I even went through my Greeblies and separated out a lot of my Greeblies into those little drawers, because I found I had some really cool Greeblies and stuff. Mark, someone had given me a partial model kit of the Phantom Menace pod racer, Anakin's pod racer. It was an old, you know, glued together model.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, I think the engines of Anakin's thing, some of those side pieces would be awesome on a custom Mando pistol. You know, the rounded ones and stuff.
That's using your noggin.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to play around with that. So yeah, that's my costume costume corner / workbench / anything else. But I do like the Helldiver stuff, and John Rodriguez is doing some awesome Helldiver stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's it. So we got everyone. So what's our next topic at hand? Acolyte. Early screening experiences. I'd have to thank Ken for letting me go. And I was so happy I was going, and I messaged Zoe, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm going too. I'm going to El Capitan." So I was like,
pretty much everyone I knew went to a screening, and I'm just sitting there at work at the end of my shift on Monday, just acolyte screening, acolyte screening, acolyte screening. I'm like, glad I forgot about that.
yeah, so I was talking to Zoe about that, and because I was like, why don't they just like let people pay and see it? And she said she wouldn't be surprised if it's compensation, where if they make money on it in a movie theater, that changes how everyone gets paid in the production. So that could be the reason. Because to me, it seems like a no-brainer. Like all those people that were lined up for us, if it would have been regular movie ticket prices, they would have probably all still been there. Because it was not that people were like, oh, it's free and I'm going to swing in. There's people the parking lot was Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. There was probably people from other states too, So
Now, how far did you guys drive to see it?
90 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad. I'd have
Not-
driven 90 minutes.
Well, I drove an hour home from school, got in my car and drove 90 minutes.
Well, the two guys that were hanging out in line with us, they drove 3 hours from Delaware.
Oh yeah. They can't.
They drove from the lower part of Delaware to
Yeah.
get to the King of Prussia Mall theater where we saw it.
And during rush hour, so that was like 3 hours of not fun traffic. It wasn't like country bumpkin 3 hours.
Now, did they do anything special for you guys, or was it just the screening?
We got a poster, which looked like the one we got at Celebration, except that I think it had the date on it.
Mm-hmm.
And we got free popcorn and drink.
All for free? Free 99?
All for free.
Yeah, and they had the little acolyte standee where we could do photographs in front of.
Yeah, but that sucker was down. Like, man, when we came out, that was
yeah,
cool.
they didn't even wait for the movie to be over. They took it down before the film was done. Before the second episode was finished. But I thought it was pretty cool. So without talking about the movie itself, we got to spend a little bit of time with a podcaster who does a show called Annie, Are You Okay? We talked with Casey, who's TikTok famous, and I'm still struggling to remember, his handle and things like that. And I didn't know at the time there were people in line that I thought looked familiar, but I couldn't place them. And one of the people ended up being Chris from Star Wars in Character, and I think he's from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So there were a bunch of other other podcasters and stuff in line with us, hanging out, and didn't even realize it.
Well, there was 2 Karita members, and we were talking. They're like, "Oh, you should join." Blah blah blah. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm a member." And they're like, "Now, who are you?" And I told my name. They're like, "Oh, so you are real." So I don't know I didn't know how to take that. I was just like, "Okay." Like, was that a dig, or am I a legend, or I don't know what so
You're infamous.
Well, we know the man. That must make you the myth and the legend.
yeah, I don't know, you always wonder, like, okay, what was said for that? Like, was that just meant as a funny, on a Monday after work, you're like, I'm just trying to keep it in my head. Oh, it must be fine. So
and we were lucky because the people that were right around us were super cool. There was a guy who was there with his dad, and they talked about, getting the original toys in the 70s. And then there was another guy who was kind of behind us, who was talking about how he built a miniature, like, tabletop version of a Gonk droid. So it was a nice group of people that were right around us, getting excited to watch the first 2 episodes of this new show.
Yeah. We had a good group of people. So, and it seemed like everyone was just happy to be there. That was the really nice thing. I mean, you kind of, I don't know. I would hate to think that someone that would be a very hating person would take the time to drive hours to see something on a Monday, but stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
But no, it was, and that's before we can get in. It was fun. And then at the same time, there was a special showing of Spider-Man and a preview of Bad Boys 2, 3. I don't know what.
One of them.
One of them, the newest one, and so the theater was really pretty packed.
Yeah, pretty busy for a Monday, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, and then so they give us vouchers, and we got our seats, and then we could go get our popcorn, but me, Ken, and Casey waited too long, and it like they did not have their crack popcorn and soda crew on, you know, which I just as a person who goes to movies, I thought was kind of funny. I was like, wait a minute, you knew all these people were coming, you know, because I've been to movie theaters that have done that, and they've had like 50 sodas already poured. They, you know what I mean, and they're just, you know, but. We it was fun. So.
Yeah, I hope they
And
do
there
it
was
again for the finale.
Yeah, I wonder that would be kind of cool too.
But again, I think because it's not a money making thing and it's an advertising thing, that's where, you know, like if they charged money, then I could see. But like I said, Zoe was saying that depending on how the actors' contracts are written and all that, like if your contract is based on a streaming series, then if you were going to get paid to do something in the theaters, that could change how they have to do all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to pretend I know, you know, what any of that means.
One thing I'll say that I was surprised by, not about the show itself, but about the experience. They did have a little clip beforehand with one of the actresses, and she thanked us and got us hyped up for the show. There was no comment from anybody that was there representing the accolade. It wasn't like somebody went down in front of the screen and said, "Oh, we want to thank all of you for coming,"
Right.
and that sort of thing. It wasn't anything. Nobody live did it. It was just a videotaped little clip.
Yeah. Well, the other thing was, I don't know, like when they did the Ahsoka one, which I think because it was during the strike, it was different. But they had someone remotely attached to the show that wasn't in any of the guilds at all those premieres, the Ahsoka one. They had some sort of special guest. And this time, I guess, because it was just, I think they had so many premieres going on everywhere. So, but yeah, I don't know. It was fun. I think I liked the scroll at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like the scroll, Ken?
Oh goodness, yeah. Because to me it gets you in that rhythm of a Star Wars thing.
Yes. I was like, oh, it felt like Star Wars,
and it was different enough to say that this is not like the typical movies that we're used to where the scroll extends up the screen and fades off into space or whatever. But it's enough to say, yep, this is how Star Wars does it.
Yeah. I still don't know what I'm still baffled by why our thing is not showing up on Facebook. So
the other thing I liked about seeing it live and in person in the theater is just the all-encompassing sound that you don't get the same sort of thing at home, even with surround sound speakers and a big flat screen television or whatever. It doesn't envelop you like it does in a theater.
Right.
I think my neighbors would really, really hate me if I got speakers that worked like theater speakers.
Yeah. Well, it was all night. It was nice though, just to see, again, just to be in a room with everyone that was there for the same reason. So.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I wish I could have gone to one.
I was also surprised that there was no other. Well, I can't say nobody. There was only 2 people that I saw that were in anything that resembled costumes.
Yeah.
Everyone else was in a variety of Star Wars shirts and stuff like that. But one guy came dressed as Old Man Luke.
Yeah.
And then another person just like, would you say generic Sith Lord or something like that?
Well, there was someone in there with what's his name armor? the zombie trooper armor.
He was just carrying a helmet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That guy's in the Pennsylvania Collecting Society, and he
Okay.
carries that helmet to anything. He takes it to fan expos
Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
conventions and stuff like that. But he wasn't in the full. Just had the helmet.
Okay.
I don't know his name, but I've definitely seen him at least 10 or 12 other events. And if you had to give your spoiler free, thoughts on, we'll go. You want to go episode by episode, or do you want to do the whole thing?
I say we do the whole thing because
in
I'm
one
not
shoot
gonna.
match?
They both kind of blended together for me, and I didn't get to watch them a second time. Like I wish I would have, but I didn't get to watch them a second time.
Yeah. So, what's your spoiler free thoughts on it, John?
I thought it would. I mean, first of all, the costumes and the set pieces were the first thing that stuck out to me. I think it. This is a very interesting era in Star Wars costume wise that I can certainly appreciate, especially how great the Jedi look. So, because this is still this is technically the High Republic era, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Like the tail end of it.
Yeah, the High Republic era costumes are just incredible, and I still would love to do a generic Jedi, and I'm reconsidering whether or not to do a High Republic era.
Well, they definitely are fancier, that's for sure.
Yeah,
And they're more individualized. So when you look at most of the Jedi in the movies and shows that we've seen so far, it's everybody other than like Ayala Secura, stuff like that with the crop top or whatever. Everybody else, looks pretty similar.
yeah. I'm a sucker for gold, so anything with the gold trim is always a-okay in my book.
And there was a lot of non-Jedi characters and costumes that you got to see, whether it was the citizens on the street or that one guy Chimera or whatever, the one who had a more prominent role in the second episode. They spend so much time with them on the screen that you can pick out the pieces a lot more clearly than you can in some of the other things where most of those people are just background.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the robes took me a minute to get used to, and the size, the chunkiness of the sabers took me a minute to get used to.
They just look like Disney park sabers.
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. Just because I was like, oh well, that'll make it easy, And they're it was nice because it showed a old technology without actually spending a whole time about old technology.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, it made me think of those flashlights with like the 9D batteries in them or whatever.
Yeah.
That the police used to carry. Mag lights.
Yeah.
The big mag lights.
Well, it made me think of the ones that used to come with the Everlast batteries before that.
Oh.
The big silver ones that if you dropped it once, it shattered into a million pieces. That's what it reminded me of. Like they give you bought the battery and you got the you bought the batteries and got the flashlight for free. So
and we gotta tip our hat to the different droids that showed up.
Oh yeah.
Whether you're talking about that little transforming Swiss Army knife droid, the Pip, whatever. I don't know if Pip's his name or if Pip is just the kind of droid that it is.
Yes. I think yes is
yes
the
to
correct
both.
answer.
And how about the transforming pilot seats droids?
Yeah, that was pretty cool actually.
I liked the real chunky protocol droid.
Oh yeah, the
dad bod droid.
Yeah,
the bouncer droid. Well, all of us chunky people have hope for being a droid now. So,
yeah, I think they definitely nailed the vibe, if you will, the look, the atmosphere for the show of what they're trying to convey.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to know the planets that they were on to know that they were in a Star Wars.
Well, and you know what I did like? I liked where they put the. It reminded me of Rogue One. No, yeah, Rogue One when they put the name of the planet up.
Yeah.
I like that. So,
And I think only one of them that they put up there we've been to before. I think we've been to that ice planet. I thought that was the name of one of the ice planets from Rebels.
oh, okay, yeah,
I thought so. Or maybe it
Well,
was Clone
and
Wars.
Coruscant.
Well, and Coruscant, yeah. True. Good point.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see where this goes from here because every time I thought like, okay, this is the major plot thread, they wrapped it up.
yeah.
I was like, okay, where are we going now?
Well, now we can talk spoilers. Which again, if anyone is watching this podcast and not watching Acolyte, I'm sorry, you deserve to be spoiled. So, just to get so like. Because I tried to stay away from any threads that talked about it other than what we'd already seen. So I was 100% surprised by pretty much everything in the
Yeah, I think the only thing other than the trailers what I saw was the fight between May and Soul. Because they released that clip a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think the other. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Are we officially into spoiler territory?
Yes.
All right. Why did they have to kill off Trinity in the first 5 minutes? She was on the poster. She's in the Disney Plus graphic. She was made to be this main character. Just nope.
Well, but you know what though? I don't feel like maybe my memory is wrong, John. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't feel like I remember her even thinking about her at Celebration when they showed us stuff.
Though, okay, so I expected her to be in it more, but looking back at what we saw at Celebration now, they cut the one scene that she is in so well that it made it look like it was different parts of the series.
Well, I think there's still possibility that she'll be in it more because what we've seen so far, and I could be misinterpreting it, but there's talk of something that happened before this show. And so in later episodes, they may do flashbacks to that time. And so she may appear in those.
Yeah. I hope so. I was really excited for her and her character. But I will say, Soul has very quickly and efficiently become my favorite character thus far.
Yeah.
He has that Qui-Gon-esque vibe to him where he's like, hey, let's not sit around and chat. Let's do something about this.
But he also gives off a Yoda vibe.
Yeah.
But all the Jedis they showed, like every Jedi was cool. Like those first two came in, and the woman with the big eyes and the big ears and stuff, like it was all just enough different. And the one dude had his like fancy robes on the other one time, and we had his less fancy robe. You know what I mean? It had that, really
his traveling robes.
Yeah, his dress uniform and his whatever the other one is. So,
yeah, a small detail, but I love the long gloves with the armor on top.
Yes,
I thought that was just a fantastic little detail they added in there.
Well, I have Zoe was telling me this. I didn't know this at the time, but last night, I think when I was talking to her, I guess the person who did all the costumes for Acolyte came and visited the Ahsoka set, and they liked what Judah had done with I forget her name, the evil Jedi
Shin Hati.
Shin. They liked Shin's armor,
Mhm.
So they wound up sending them over a set and showed them how to do some process things, and they used some of those techniques to make the armor for the Jedi's, the armor,
Mhm.
which I thought was pretty cool. So, like I'm saying, hey Zoe, I got to hang with Ken and this, and she's like, oh, that's cool. And then she's like, I got to this. I was like, oh, why am I not in California?
Right.
You've taught her the delicate art of the humble brag without teaching her the delicate art of the humble brag.
I guess. Well, it took years for me to get her to at least do a little bit of bragging and self-promotion. So that's, But
You think it's cool that you got free popcorn? I was sitting in El Capitan.
I know.
Loser.
And she no, but I did like that armor, John. That's one of the things that stood out in the costumes that I liked. I like the dingy ones, maybe just because as a kid and even as an adult, I'm just always seem to be wearing something dirty and worn out. So like if I get a nice new shirt or a nice whatever, I spill something on it automatically. Like today I had a brand new Millersville polo shirt to wear to work, and I was drinking my iced tea on the way to work and spilled it, and I had big tea marks all day long. So I'm just destined. I'm destined to be the Obi-Wan of New Hope looking costume.
You're the pig pen of our Peanuts gang.
Yeah.
One thing I did find very funny was, so when they were just doing the trailers and everything, folks were speculating that one youngling who said she closed her eyes and saw fire, they were saying that was going to be May, or
Right.
May or Osha or whatever the other character's name is. And I'm so glad it turned out to not be her.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what I so when it first started, I was thinking it was I was thinking she had some sort of like force, like multi-personality disorder. Like
Moon Knight.
Yeah, that's at first that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking was going to happen. I thought like she left the order. I didn't know where it was going to go. So that was that was definitely what I thought.
My mind went to clone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a Luke situation.
Well, yeah, that's not a bad one. That's I didn't think of that.
Yeah, I'm glad I was wrong because I wasn't thrilled that I was thinking that thought. But
see, I'm very curious to see where and or when it's going to turn, because right now everything that we've seen has been A to B to C, and it almost seems too easy. Somebody's killing Jedi, and you see the person who's killing Jedi, and they track down the person who's killing Jedi, and there's 4 people on the hit list. We got 2 of them, and now we have 2 of them left. So there's got to be more stuff going on with those characters, the assassin kind of characters. Plus, there's got to be more going on in the larger galaxy.
yeah, I'm really interested to see what they do with Kelnaka, the Wookiee Jedi now.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you said, Ken, they've wrapped things up pretty quickly in these first 2 episodes. So I was texting one of my friends today about it, and I was like, I'm super excited to see Kelnaka, and he was like, well, he's gonna die. I'm like, no, he's not. No, he's not. I'm gonna blissfully, ignorantly accept that he's not going to die, and he's gonna live through the whole series, and I'm gonna be a happy camper.
If Kelnaka dies, we riot.
Yep.
Well,
we need that on a T-shirt.
So, and that's what I wonder when you say the flashbacks. I wonder if he's going to have so she's chasing down these 4. So what happened because he definitely is not living his best Jedi life. He's in a wrecked ship without his uniform on. Where the pictures we see, he's nice, neat, and clean. Like his fur is nice. That's the one we saw on stage at Celebration.
Mhm.
And in the one picture you see him sitting there on some kind of something with a speeder bike behind him.
Yeah.
In the picture. So I wonder if there's some event that these 4 Jedi let slip by that causes her family to be killed.
Yeah, see, I don't think they
Yeah.
let it slip by. I think they were involved in it, and then they took their own paths after. I mean, Kelnaka's doing the naked and alive in the wilderness.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
I-
he's Shrek.
yeah,
He's literally Shrek.
you got to find his donkey. But yeah, I think I believe, and this is Ken in his tinfoil hat, that there will be flashbacks that bring Trinity back to the show, and we get to see some more of that kind of stuff. And those flashbacks also expand into what was going on in the larger galaxy at the time that either caused those events or were caused by or were impacted by those events that they're talking about.
That yeah.
And to me, the show has done a great job too of showing in just 2 episodes the maker's attention to other Star Wars things, and it's that attention that has some of the trolls all twisted. So in the trailers, you saw a brief flash of a light whip, and people got all bonkers. After these episodes, you heard about, was it the Bashana vow? I can't remember the exact name of the vow that was taken by the meditating Jedi. That was in earlier comic books. I think it might have been like 2017 or 2018.
Yeah.
But these people were saying, "What's this? This has never existed before," when it absolutely positively has.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and you can't I think the woman who writes it, you can't I think she knows Star Wars deeper than most of these people that are trying to troll her. If that makes sense.
Yeah, like going just to the light whip as an example. Like they were making that connection, like, oh, they gotta have something new and flashy, just like Kylo Ren's lightsaber and all that kind of stuff.
Right,
This
right.
never existed, and in fact it has. It's been in Star Wars for quite some time. Even before the High Republic books. I thought one of
Well,
Darth
yeah, like I said,
Bane's-
I just remember the excuse me, I just remember the one Sith guy that had to whip in the stormtroopers with him. I forget his name, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
He was a squid head, and he wore a black robe, and he had a whip, and he was in one of the
was
books.
that Legacy, Star Wars Legacy, the comic, the Dark Horse comics?
Yeah, maybe. Yes, yeah. This was probably from the late '90s, early 2000s.
And I thought Darth Bane's Padawan also had, or apprentice, I thought she also had a light whip. I could
Yeah.
be wrong, but
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I liked all the characters. I liked the amount of different type of beings in Star Wars was neat to see. More than just background characters.
yes. Like what creature was it, or what alien was it that had the tentacle wrapped around his head to kind of like I
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
remember,
yeah.
I don't remember seeing anyone like that before.
Yeah, because at first I thought he was one of the shark guys. When he showed up on the screen first, when he was talking through that door in the pen,
Yeah.
I thought it was one of the shark creatures from Clone Wars. Remember the shark men?
Yeah, the ones that that went against was in like the Mancala
Yeah.
War in War.
Yeah, so that's what I thought, but yeah, that was and then you had that parasite that was creepy. The parasite,
They look like a leaf,
yeah,
like a living
yeah.
leaf.
Oh,
kind of thing.
I would have. Oh man, I wouldn't have been able to go anywhere in that ship with that thing running around.
No.
But I'm still curious what those 4 Jedi did. Or, I mean, is it going to be that they all 4 did something so bad, or is it that they just made a mistake, or is it one of those things like with the sisters in Clone Wars where it wasn't something they did directly, but the battle they fought, the aftermath of it was what killed people. You know what I mean? Like, is it going to be one of those things?
Well, my thing is like they've established, as far as we know, that May burned their family's house down.
Right.
So with what has been presented thus far, my line of thinking is that they didn't stop it because they knew May was dangerous, and
Okay.
they presumed that she was dead, so that it was like, oh well, she's dead.
Well, see, that's what I'm wondering. Is it going to be a storyline where it was something like that, or is it a storyline where they did something wrong and she died, and they're like it was like those 4 conspired to, because that guy drank the poison. That's the thing that makes me think that they did something wrong.
Yeah,
Like they,
Or maybe it's not that they did. Well, this is, I guess, a variation of that. It may have been that they didn't do something
yeah,
that they later on felt guilty about not doing.
because it seems like at least 2 of them, the Wookiee and the guy that drank the poison, were suffering mentally. You know what I mean? Because like I said, the Wookiee is not the Wookiee we saw in the pictures and we saw at Celebration. So there's flashbacks, or like he looks like self-isolated, you know.
Well, is it possible that in the Wookiee culture they have to go on a walkabout? Maybe he's just, he's taking a break.
Yeah, maybe. It seems like once you take that Jedi vow, you should. I just didn't picture, like, even where he's living seems pretty junky, even compared to Wookiee culture. Like if you look at Kashyyyk, it's pretty nice. That looked like, he was like the Sanford and Son of Wookiees. For anyone over 55 that understands that reference.
Yeah, it's got to be one of the people in our demographic.
Yeah,
one of the people, one of our tens of listeners.
So,
well, and it also, to that end, it brings up an interesting idea that 4 Jedi who were associated with the same event have varying responses to it. Going back to Soul, that one of the lessons he attempted to teach May was, letting go of the past while also learning from it. So his approach to that event is different than the floating Jedi and the Wookiee Jedi.
yeah, that's I'm wondering, are there degrees of guilt? Like,
Oh goodness, yeah, I think that's true in the Star Wars universe as just as much as it is in the real world.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my thought. Like I didn't think any of that, except that I keep looking at the guy who he just willingly, there was no way she was going to hurt him. There was no way. And then he let his guard down and willfully just drank the poison.
Right.
Well, also with that in mind, that floating Jedi may have also presumed she was dead.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to take this vow to disconnect from the Force because my actions or inactions led to the death of this child.
Right.
And then when you're presented with that child who gives you that opportunity to either come forward and spill the beans, because if you don't, I will, or you can end it right here. The decision was to end it.
Well, right. And that was he upset because he let a child die, or was he upset that a witness showed up?
We'll never know, really.
Well, hopefully we'll know in 6 more episodes.
Yeah. Before we wrap this up, I do want to get your guys' opinion on the Rotten Tomatoes discrepancy here.
Oh,
have you guys seen the scores for the Acolyte thus far?
We have not.
So the critic reviews is at 93%.
Okay.
The audience reviews are 38%. Why do you guys think that is? Is this a Disney Star Wars bad always deal, or is this like something specifically in the show that you guys think is causing such a vast gap between the two?
I think it's a possibility of both of those things, because there are folks that even to this moment, if you were to go on any of the social media platforms, you would find people that say, you know, this isn't Star Wars, this isn't George Lucas's stuff, this is just, a dumpster fire of garbage. And no matter how good it really is, they won't give it that benefit of calling it good, because it goes against the storyline that they've created. And with that level of emotion, or that level of dislike, they're not really looking at it as it is, like the critics may be.
Mhm.
The critics may be looking at it from a technical standpoint. They may be looking at it from a storytelling standpoint, and the Rotten Tomatoes, the regular folks in the audiences, are just trying to, you know, spread more ill will for anything Disney related to Star Wars.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. And I think the same people, and unfortunately, they fall into the demographic of me, but the same people that will say representation doesn't matter because you can just put yourself in that place. You don't need that. Like, they're the same people that say it doesn't matter if you have a woman running the show or a woman doing this, and they'll get all bent out of shape. Then they see a show that they can't do exactly what they're asking every other group of people to do. So, and honestly, if you want to see, to bring it back to somewhat mild self promotion, if you want to see what the fans that are leaving these reviews, because I didn't leave a review on Rotten Tomatoes because I liked it and I'm just waiting for next week's. I didn't go, I didn't like, I'm going to get Kathleen Kennedy. But if you go on Zoe's episode of Our Star Wars Stories and read the posts, the comments, and they are nothing but hate against Kathleen Kennedy and hate against Disney. And this was like a 19-year-old girl getting interviewed by Jordan Hembrow, and they were having a fit, And any of the like anything that Star Wars puts out, there's just haters that go around and post fire Kathleen Kennedy, and they just work in droves. And we were having this podcast talk. We're not going to bring up names here, but we're having this podcast talk Monday with the guys, and we said the terrible thing right now in all the Star Wars podcasting and all that, when you search Star Wars podcasts, some of the worst podcasts come up first as suggestions. Like, if you just search Star Wars podcast, I guarantee the top 2 or 3 are not going to be good, positive Star Wars podcasts.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that to like say, hey, we wish we were on the top of the list. We just know that they shouldn't be on the top of the list. So,
Well, I mean, I'm surprised. Hopefully, that this doesn't surprise either one of you. But I'm on, a variety of social media groups related to Star Wars, and these are things that I've had to go out of my way to join. So I click this button to be involved in this group or whatever. And you would think that other people who took that step to click that button to join that group would be appreciative, they would be celebratory, they would be supportive of Star Wars. But even in these groups that you have to click the button to join this group are tossing turds at these shows. Like, wait a minute, like, the purpose of this group is to talk about Star Wars and the things that we enjoy, and you're coming into this group having read the rules and throwing about how this is stupid, and it's part of the woke agenda, and this isn't my Star Wars kind of thing. So it's really weird to me that sort of stuff is going on, especially considering, if we boil this all down, and I hope I don't hurt either of your feelings, none of this is real.
What?
This is meant to be meant to be fun entertainment, with a little bit of creativity mixed in with some lessons for children. And folks get really twisted up about wacky stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
See, what surprises me the most though is, as I'm sure you guys are as well, I'm in various Star Wars groups, follow various Star Wars pages and Star Wars personalities. I haven't seen a single negative review of the show thus far, which that's why I'm so surprised that the de facto, review center at this point in time, it's so negative. So, and maybe you're right, Ken. Maybe it is just people who are like, I'm just gonna go review bomb it for the sake of it. But I don't know. I enjoyed it. It seems like everyone that I've surrounded myself with has enjoyed it thus far. And
Well, I think also the good, or this could be a good thing or a bad thing. I also think we eventually you curate your feeds to a certain point.
yeah,
Like I if people start bashing certain things, it's not, listen, people can have their opinion. I just don't want it. It's not, when I get out of work, I don't need to be bummed out by 20 people just saying nonsense. I can turn the news on for that. I can be bummed out.
yeah.
So I've curated mine to a certain point, but it's to your point, Ken. It's weird when you sit in a group, when you go to an event as a costumer, and you're sitting with people who have spent thousands of dollars and thousands of hours on costumes, and they have nothing good to say about that thing that they're. I'm like, why are you doing this? Like why are you doing this to yourself? Like that seems almost like self torture. Like, okay, I'm just going to steam about something. And the terrible thing for those people, which I hate to say, is the old original Star Wars is becoming such a small part of the Star Wars universe.
Well, and the number of people who saw the old original Star Wars is becoming smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
And the old original Star Wars in 77 that came out really wasn't that great. And what I mean by that, it was a mono oral sound. It didn't have the digital cleanup. It didn't have the extra bits that George put in the 1990s and all of that kind of stuff. So that original movie that hit the screen in May 25th of 77 is not the movie that's available to the masses today.
Right.
But
Well,
God, they'll
yeah.
tell you they wish it was.
I know. But they'd be the first ones that were probably, well, whatever. It's just it is a shame. Like, I used to, when I was younger, you just had film critics, and you found certain ones that had your own sensibilities, and that's the ones you watched, because well, this guy seems to like what I like, so I would listen to that person. So if they said they didn't like it, it gave me a little pause. But now, like, you go to Rotten Tomatoes, you might as well just like, just why bother reading them anymore? Because they're also picked out at certain points in time. Like, 1 minute, if it's the top, if it at 3 o'clock on this date, it's 95% Rotten Tomatoes, they're going to screen grab that, and that's going to be a promotional thing. That's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, well, actually, the Acolyte went up from the initial critic reviews. It was at like 84%, and then it peaked today around 95.
that's
So,
good.
but
And I think forever I will watch these things, whether it's the cartoons or the live action shows like this or the movies. I'll watch them to have fun. I'll watch them to experience something with the people that I enjoy hanging out with. So I was so glad that I was able to go to that early premiere with Heather, who went willingly. I didn't have to kidnap her. She chose to go. And to be able to go with Mike and Safi, friends who enjoy it, friends who appreciate it, friends who get excited about it, who walked out of there saying, I want to build that thing and I want that robot on my shelf, and how cool was the soundtrack and that kind of stuff. I want to go to these things and participate in these things for the enjoyment of it all. And I don't think I'll ever get to that point where I'm going to have fun just tearing it to shreds.
Right.
or tearing the makers to shreds, or tearing the other fans to shreds. Like, John, you must be a special kind of stupid to like something like this. How can you, as an adult person, like this stuff?
I try.
Well, and the other thing, the it's just when you get in a room of people that were there to see it, it was just fun, you know. Like I just
Yeah, it was a recorded television show, and there was clapping,
it was,
and
and yeah, and people drove 3 hours to see a show that they could they could have just
just
waited
waited.
the 24 hours to see, you know. So yeah,
And the cool
I
part about that was the early screenings weren't everywhere.
yeah.
That's why the people drove from Delaware to Pennsylvania to see it. That's why the knuckleheads drove from New Jersey to Pennsylvania to see it, because it wasn't available in every place.
Now Tennessee had tickets way longer than anyone else, so apparently Tennessee is not a Star Wars state.
Oof.
So you know,
What is that? Is that Midwest Garrison? No.
I don't know, but they had
Bluegrass, isn't it? Or is that
No.
Kentucky?
Bluegrass, Kentucky.
Okay.
yeah they had tickets like way like the next day you could still get Tennessee tickets, but it could be logistics too. Like Pennsylvania, I think that was the only Pennsylvania one right there.
No, I think there was one other one, but I thought the other one was like closer to Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong about that, but I'm just so glad that we were able to do it. I was so glad that the stars aligned, that allowed us to get on the list, to get the 4 tickets, to sit in the theater, to see it on the big screen with a group of people that enjoyed it. And I'm very excited to see what's going to come next week and the week after that. And so, I know we started off celebrating, Kathleen Kennedy's birthday. Let's thank Leslie Headland and all of the makers and Kathleen Kennedy for giving us this goodness.
Oh yeah. I mean that's you can't. I don't know. I can't imagine. I can't imagine them doing it any better, to be honest with you. And I still like that every show's giving us a twist. Like when we watched Kenobi, it was young Leia. Like no one was talking about young Leia. Everyone was Luke this, Luke that, Luke this, and he played such a minuscule part compared to her, you know. And then this one, you had the twins. Like even in the one poster, it kind of showed her in 2 different faces, and I
Yes.
was not thinking twins.
Yes. Well, and I think that's another reason why, especially with the shows, more so than the movies, we know it's going to be multiple parts. So we should expect that what we see in the first part, it's not going to be everything. Because
Yeah.
if it was everything, it would just be that one part. But we're getting 8 episodes, so there's going to be all of these other things. There's going to be all these other characters. There's going to be all these other places. There's going to be much more meat to get added to this skeleton that we're seeing. Do you have any tinfoil theories in terms of who the evil baddie is?
I think it's a new character.
I thought that
Yeah.
helmet was very Kylo Ren-esque looking.
It could be the Ren.
Yeah, that's what you know what I mean? Like because it just had it give me a Knights of Ren / Kylo Ren vibe. So
And what's also fun about this show is, it's the focus of it is the acolyte. The focus is that 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 person who's not necessarily the good guy or good girl, or
but here's my thing. What if she
hero.
is the good guy? What if when it's all said and done, those 4 Jedi did something horrendous, and that's what kind of alters the course of the Jedi Order?
Yeah, I mean that would be a super duper twist. Because one of the
Because we
things
haven't had that yet.
yeah,
We have had Sith and we have had bad guys, but we haven't had Jedi that are bad, other than a couple in Clone Wars that were,
Pong
but
Krell.
Yeah, but we haven't had, and when I say bad, we haven't had Jedi. We haven't seen the individual faults of the Jedi. We've seen the massive fault of the Jedi Order. But like, is this, you know, I'm just, it wouldn't, it would surprise me less now than if I would have had this conversation a week ago.
Yeah.
Like a week ago, I thought it was going to show the pure Jedi in their best form, and they were going to be like the superheroes. And I would not be surprised if something like that happens.
Yeah, I think we're in for a roller coaster.
Yeah,
where we started is definitely not where we're going to end. That is for sure.
Yep.
And because there's so much room between this and anything else, so this and the Phantom Menace, this and the comic books, this and the High Republic novels and stuff, there's so much room for more stories afterwards
yeah,
that while it will come to an end at the end of that 8th episode, that 8th part of the story, there's so much that so many different directions that it could take us in.
yeah. And they put the dates up for when it's all coming out, so
I'm just glad we're getting more Star Wars.
it's a good way to start the summer. Now I still have a week and a half with students, but everyone else seems to be starting their summer.
That feels so long.
Oh man, my students checked out last week. Like it's rough. And they had the high school graduation last week, so my kids are acting like school's out. They're like, "What? This is graded?" That's what I heard that more today than I had all year. What? You're giving us a graded assignment?
It is school.
It's school. I don't want to waste your time, you know. But and we do have Magic Jump on the agenda for my visit in July. So I don't know what that'll entail, but we are going. At the very least, I'll be standing in front of the building with a picture.
So with that said, John, should we put it on our calendar now to make sure that the two of us are available for the time that Mike's out there on the left coast?
Yeah, I will get a Zoe has a whole schedule written out, so I'll have to get the time to you and figure out what it is. But yeah, the Magic Jump trip will be in there somewhere. So I got my passes to Disney, and I guess I think I'm gonna do lightsabers, but I gotta check on that. So
well, the cool thing about the lightsabers is you get one builder and one guest.
Yeah.
So you I would absolutely encourage you to get someone to come with you to record it for you.
Well, it'll probably be me and Zoe and then Missy will record. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to all that, but I want to say I'm looking forward to the Avengers campus too.
Yeah,
I want to see the AI Spider-Man.
See, I thought you'd be more interested in Cars Land.
Yeah, no. Though I like that movie. When the kids were little, we watched that movie, Cars and Chicken Little.
With all the work that you do on your bus, you don't want to go there and see Sarge.
That's true. That's. I'll have to. I've fallen. I think Cars 2 is about as far as I went on Cars. It's just so much, so much I could take.
Cars 3 was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it seemed like they were throwing so much at us there for a while that I just kind of fell by. Back when you used to go for our weekly DVD buying when the kids were little, you go into your store of choice, and if you bought it the day it came out, it was like ridiculously cheap, and then we'd have that big giant shelf of DVDs that only ever got watched once. And
Those were the days.
You're thinking, man, maybe someday I would. Well, I remember friends of mine where this was where they sold was it 400 DVD carousel or something like that?
Oh yeah, like
I think Sony sold one or something. Yeah. I don't know if it was it was over 100,
big.
But it was big, and you would put all your DVDs, and you could set up categories, and you could do that. And then I also had friends who would buy Arduinos and hard drives and build these data. They basically built Netflix at their house, you know, and you had a remote server running, and they would always, oh, you should do, and I was like, that sounds like way more work than just getting a DVD and sticking it in the drawer, you know. So, and yeah, the DVD when the kids were little, I was at the point where I was thinking, I'm just gonna buy one of these and just hook it up, because I just got tired of like open DVD, like the DVDs were never in the cases,
In the right one.
cases, or the right. Like you had to kind of, it was like your Sherlock Holmes. Okay, they're watching this, so I have to find this case to find. Yeah, you
What did they watch last? What did they play last? Because sometimes the DVDs ended up in a video game box.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm like Columbo here, like figuring out. Okay, I could see their whole, breadcrumbs of what they watched, but that's
Yeah.
but what leads us to is the beautiful amount of Star Wars we have.
Yes,
Yep.
sir. And you have to make sure that you send us some pictures of your food-based options while you're either at Disneyland or out in
Yeah.
California.
Oh, their food. Yeah, well, yeah. There's a burger place at Disney Springs that had a good vegan burger.
Is it really a burger though? Is it really a burger?
Well, it's
It's a patty.
it's ground
nothing
up. It's
burger.
ground up protein.
It's a plant patty.
It's a ground up protein. Like, so if you're eating meat, right, it's protein. That's your part of. So if I'm getting ground up tofu, or like I make a wicked black bean burger, so here's our vegan menu
with nacho cheese.
Yep.
So look, it's the best burger.
Welcome back, John.
I know, right? We had
Yeah, we're here.
We have, listen, it's 4 ingredients. It's smashed up black beans, onion powder, garlic powder, and oatmeal. Crush it all up. Cook it just like a burger.
And
Put all
what do
your
you get?
Huh?
And what do you get?
You get a burger.
Not a burger.
It's a patty. It's a plant patty.
Listen, I'm the worst vegan in the sense that I just remember when I had a friend that was vegan, I was such an ass to him, and I feel so bad. I apologized to him when I became a vegan, because I was like the worst, And Zoe will remind us every once in a while that she wanted to go vegan like 5 years before us, and I told her, "What is wrong with you?"
So on that note, it's so good to have you back, John.
Yeah. So
And I finally did an inventory of the Revenge of the Sith collection.
yes, what is it?
It is 115.
Nice.
115.
And I even went so far as to categorize which individual copies I have.
Nice.
I have 66. Actually, hang on. I'll get the spreadsheet because I made a photo album.
Now, have you ever gone to the Guinness World Book of Records website and filled out the form to see if you have the most?
Hey, John.
There's one I don't have.
I recently found this, so I got to send it your way.
Speaking of which, I have had your shirts made for like 2 months. I'm going to say this on the air publicly. Please remind me to take it to the post office. It's packaged up and ready to go.
Listen, there's a thing on the post office. If you click and ship, that you can click pick up at my house.
Didn't know that.
So when you make your label,
I usually just write that onto
dude,
the
it's cheaper. You go and click and ship by yourself a scale at Harbor Freight. You print the label right there. You pay the postage right there. You put pick up. It'll say where you're going to put it, and if you have any dogs on your property that are loose,
Yeah.
and then you click it and they'll pick it up. I'm just telling you, like, because when I used to ship stuff for eBay all the time, when I found that out, it made it so much easier because I didn't have to, just click and ship, buddy. Click and ship.
Yep, I'm gonna have to do that. I might do that tonight.
Because you get a tracking number, all that you could you put people in their address book, and then it gets even easier.
Ugh.
Just go on the post office service and see what it. I'm not sponsored by the post office or Magic Jump, but we
will gladly talk about them with kindness and support.
So I do think next week. I think next week we need to do a recap of our show. Like, we need to remind people of our inflatable falcon. We need to remind people just like a reintroduction of ourselves, of what we do, and we'll do some acolyte stuff. We'll try to get a hold of Casey, see if we can get some people on. Just because I'm thinking next week, like, come up with some podcast you listen to, because I think we talked about July having a better social media presence ready. So I think that's be a good way to kick off doing that. Like we could just brainstorm ideas, because after watching I think the pinnacle of our show was the Golden Tauntauns. I think we have to put the effort of the Golden Tauntauns into we need to push. That's our summer push. It's to do our show.
So should we do like an NPR, membership drive?
Well, maybe. I mean, listen, I think it's nice weather. We could print, build, do something, do some giveaways, whatever we have to do to just just help people,
Sure.
find our show. I got to figure out why the Facebook feed is locking down to only my friends. So,
Well, here's a silly question: does your Facebook thing have less than 100 followers?
my face. No, I don't know. I think I have over 200, honestly.
Because I thought I saw a note on Restream saying that you couldn't go Facebook Live if you had less than 100 followers.
Let's see. Well, I have 285 followers.
Okay, so scratch that idea.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great time to wrap it up and thank everyone for joining another flight on the Falcon. It's good to have the three of us on, in the ship. Makes it so much easier to manage the cargo hold and the navigation system and the guns when we've got all three chairs filled.
And one last time, just tell everyone where they can find each of you guys.
Go ahead.
Give it away, John. Okay. So you can find me on the Rambling Star Wars Fan, the Bounty Hunting Across the Galaxy with Todd and Ken, and here as often as earthly possible.
John, where can they find you?
You can find me here on the Inflatable Falcon and at the Beskar Bucket.
And you can find me here. Soon you'll be able to find me on KoreaCast, Zoe's podcast, Star Wars Geek Girl. And if you're listening, watching, rewatching, please rate, subscribe, give a review on your podcaster of choice. iTunes is still probably one of the best ones to do it, then probably Spotify. But if you're not rating and you're not subscribing, it's basically stealing. It's just what it is. No, I'm just kidding about that.
And don't
part.
forget to share it with your
share it with people.
Friends.
Even if you don't want to listen to us, just let it play. Just turn the volume down and let it play. And if you want to join our show, if you need help making a podcast, we are not experts by any means, but we have made tons of mistakes, which sometimes makes us experts at knowing how not to do it. So if we can help you in any way, start a podcast or do anything, anyone's welcome to be a guest. Just let one of us know and we will try to work it out. Ken's new show going across what's it called again?
Bounty Hunting Across the Galaxy with Todd and Ken.
I try not to watch it when I see it on the saved things. I try not to watch ahead, So, all right. And John, you're well, just please, we want more Beskar Bucket, man.
I will get back to it. I promise.
I know you're in a busy state in life, which I understand completely, but we are just glad you're back. All right, guys, I'm going to do the outro.
Starships, but then my Falcon's hyperdrive just slipped. I used to worry about the future, but then I threw my caution to the wind. I had no reason to be carefree, no, until I took a trip to the treetop side of town. Yeah. You know I heard that wicked rhythm. Hey, I had no choice but to get down, dance. Woo! There's nothing left for me to do but dance. All these bad times I'm going through, just dance. Got cash shaking my heels tonight, baby.
No disrespect to my man here, but you ready for the real deal, superstar?